This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. It was an Amber Alert, quickly put into action with the best possible outcome. A little boy was abducted from his home Friday morning, and police are crediting vigilant Winnipeggers for helping save the 2-year-old child. The CBC's Ian Fraze joins us live in the newsroom. So, Ian, this ended with good news. What do we know so far?
Brittany, this all happened within a matter of hours, from the time the boy went missing to the time he was found. And police say the difference was the Amber Alert and all the tips that came flooding in. The boy was found here at a business near Logan and McPhillips. I spoke to 2 witnesses who saw police vehicles rushing into this parking lot. They say firefighters were tending to the boy in this pizza, and a woman was being arrested. Debbie Dutka says she offered the firefighters a blanket to give to the boy, but it wasn't needed.
You can tell they were all happy that they had found the child.
The first responders
were smiling, yeah, and they reassured us that the child was safe.
The fact that there was such a positive resolution so quickly, just, you know, I'm glad for the Amber Alerts.
So, Ian, what went into the call to actually issue that alert?
Well, Brittany, police were concerned for the boy's safety, and while they didn't have a vehicle description, they did have an idea of who he was with. Police say he was abducted after a violent dispute between one woman and the child's mother. It happened around 10 a.m. on Chesterfield Avenue. Police issued an Amber Alert after that for these 2 women, neither of which were related to the boy, but they knew him. That's when officers said the public stepped up.
Everybody's on the lookout, everybody's heightened. So a lot of those calls that come in, they may not be the person that we're looking for, but because of all those calls that do come in, that eventually led us to locate this child and the suspect.
2 people are in custody, but no charges have been laid at this point. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Ian Fraze. It's a project that's expected to generate hundreds of millions of dollars. Governments are teaming up with the Winnipeg Airports Authority in a plan to develop lands next to the airport. The hope? To attract major industries. As CBC's Cameron McLean tells us, discussions are already happening with one potential tenant.
Winnipeg Airports Authority hopes if they build it, they will come. On Friday, the federal and provincial governments, along with the Airports Authority, announced funding for the first phase of what they call the Westlands development. Last month, Winnipeg City Council approved a deal to develop lands west of the airport. Under the agreement, the Airports Authority will pay to build infrastructure serving an area along Moray Street, north of Saskatchewan Avenue. This would allow for development, including a potential maintenance facility on the site.
This project will generate $940 million in GDP activity during construction and $270 million in recurring annual GDP activity once fully built.
Winnipeg West MP Doug Ailson announced $10 million in federal funding for the project. The Manitoba government is kicking in $5 million, while the Airports Authority committed $17 million. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham says the development is about getting the city's supply chain infrastructure ready for what's next.
If you want investment, you have to be ready for it.
Winnipeg Airports Authority CEO Nick Hayes wouldn't say who might take up residence on the land.
Aerospace, aerospace maintenance and manufacturing, trade-enabling logistics, aviation, of course, as well. So we're seeing a lot of interest, a lot of demand.
Sources at the City of Winnipeg have told CBC News WestJet has been in discussions to potentially set up a new maintenance facility on the site. A spokesperson for the company said in a statement, "We are continually evaluating our needs for maintenance capacity across the country and are regularly in conversations with airports across Canada, including Winnipeg. At this point in time, no decisions have been made and we have no further information to share. No timeline has been set for when the project would be finished. Work on extending city sewer and water services to the land is expected to wrap up by the end of September, with construction on the airport project beginning after." Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Leaving your server a tip when you go out to eat is not just standard, but often expected. But customers also expect that tip to go where it's intended, and that's not always happening. It's led to some restaurants being told to stop using a particular system. CBC's Mike Arsenault reports.
At Rudy's Eat and Drink, good service is rewarded with a good tip. Mackenzie Robb says those gratuities are essential for her serving staff.
Tips are people's income, right? I've been working in this industry for a long time, and it should be treated like normal wages, in my opinion.
Rudy's pays out tips to the staff in-house. Some restaurants use third-party companies to pay out gratuities because they don't always have the cash on hand to pay out tips. XTM Inc. is one of those companies. Last week, they were issued a temporary order by the Bank of Canada to stop handling tips for restaurants over concerns about missing and delayed funds. Rob says Rudy's debated using a third party, but decided against it.
We just erred on the side of caution and wanted to just keep doing what we knew and what was working for our staff. And it's unfortunate that, these issues have occurred for others.
The head of the Manitoba Restaurant and Food Services Association says he's heard XTM is late on payouts across the country.
We look at these people to be the professionals in that area, and it's very disappointing to hear that these kind of situations are coming up, and people who ultimately, live on these gratuities, especially in our industry, aren't getting their pay.
Sean Jeffrey says roughly 15 to 20 Manitoba restaurants were using XTM. He's working with them to navigate the sudden change.
This is not the server's fault. It's not the restaurant's fault either. But we need to make sure that we're taking care of this in the utmost urgency to make sure that our people get paid.
XTM Inc. partnered with 2 other companies to provide the service. In an email to CBC, XTM CEO Marilyn Schaefer says in part, out of the 3 entities that make this solution happen, XTM, Everyday People Financial Corp., and Digital Commerce Bank, who has the bounty? Certainly not XTM nor me, who has my entire life savings wrapped up in XTM. Everyday People Financial Corp says they don't manage the funds or accounts associated with the tip service. The Bank of Canada says it can't comment while the issue is under investigation. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
More than 100 students from high schools all over Manitoba took part in a youth summit earlier today. Students heard from government officials, but more importantly, were the stories of resiliency from speakers. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Students from across the province took part in the first ever One Manitoba Youth Summit put on by the province on Friday. Some of the themes of the day centered around encouraging students to be resilient and to reach for big goals. Asta Diantete is a grade 11 student at Daniel McIntyre Collegiate Institute who recently moved to Winnipeg from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
I think maybe gonna encourage me to one day share my story, or don't be afraid to step up and make a difference.
Diantete says she was inspired by Joey Laquette, who is one of the guest speakers. He spoke about how the loss of his mother impacted him and his past life dealing drugs and run-ins with the law. Now, he owns a clothing company and works as a plumber after graduating college.
It gives them hope that their family members or whoever's that they're talking about can make it through whatever they're going through, and they see me as a hope, and I'm just happy to give that to them.
Students were also involved in helping out with some activities Friday.
I'm doing a healing circle, so I'm the kids who answer the questions, it's gonna stay with me, and they having fun, people's laughing, smiling.
The young people also got the chance to interact with members of the provincial government. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew was encouraged by the students.
Because you have kids from the high schools in Dauphin, Morden, reserves around the province, all over Winnipeg, northern Manitoba, all coming together. They get to share their perspectives with us, but then they also get to connect and see what other young people are thinking about in the rest of Manitoba.
Kinew says the summit was originally planned as a one-off event, but didn't rule out holding it again next year. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Riley, and Riley, we can't say you didn't warn us. My goodness, today, that wind, it was just biting.
What a day it was. This was the scene, Brittany, on Highway 9 near Lockport earlier in the day today. A lot of vehicles in ditches, a lot of highway closures, including the perimeter highway, parts of the Trans-Canada Highway 2, all the result of some of that wind that pushed through the province as we got through the day. So here's some of the peak numbers today. Things have started to die down, but certainly as expected, winds gusting upwards of 70, even pushing 80 kilometers an hour, really right across southern Manitoba and into northwestern Ontario today as well. So it's all the result of that clipper system that pushed through parts of northern Manitoba, also plunging us into the deep freeze as we get into the weekend. So still a blowing snow advisory into southeastern Manitoba, the rest of the south and into the Parkland, into a cold warning, looking at wind chills as cold as -45 overnight, and looking at wind chills as cold as -55 right across northern Manitoba, not just tonight, but into the morning on Sunday as well. So prepare for a bitterly cold weekend. The wind starts to die down, Brittany. I'll let you know when we have some relief when I come back.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Up next, is Manitoba ready for the next wildfire season? They're hiring, but one First Nation leader fears it won't be enough. More on that straight ahead. Manitoba is recruiting workers for the upcoming wildfire season, but there are concerns on whether isolated communities will have the resources they need to fight the fires. The CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco reports.
Oh no! Last summer, wildfires burned out of control through Manitoba's Island Lake region, as the military is called in to evacuate thousands displaced from their homes. Grand Chief Alex McDougall is afraid that could happen again, and there won't be enough crews or resources to respond.
Some communities might have the odd water pump and some equipment to respond to local fires, but they don't have the support to be able to respond aggressively to that.
Island Lake relied mostly on provincial firefighters last summer, but McDougall says wildfires could have been under control sooner if enough local residents were trained and equipped to fight them. Island Lake is hard to access, and McDougall argues no one knows the area better than those who already live there. He wants the province to train firefighter crews within Island Lake.
If there's that ability to gainfully employ local members, train them, and be able to respond with proper financial support, I don't think we'd be seeing evacuations at the level that we have recently.
The Arm of Piney took that approach last year, training 20 volunteer firefighters with federal funding. The municipality's CAO says the support of provincial crews was essential, but without their own firefighters, the damage from the wildfires would have been greater.
Today, we're not talking about rebuilding a community because the efforts of those volunteer firefighters kept the community safe.
The province says building firefighter capacity is shared with Indigenous Services Canada. The government is also continuing its emergency firefighter program, where interested First Nations residents can be trained. As for hiring workers, Manitoba says it plans to staff at minimum the same number of seasonal positions as last year. But the union representing public service workers is concerned other provinces and territories will pay firefighters better, making it hard to find workers here in Manitoba.
If we don't have enough people, it makes the job a lot more unsafe, makes it a lot harder to be successful. So I think the big thing is get their hiring practice tightened up so we can ensure that those roles, we have enough people.
As for Island Lake, McDougall says it wants to create its own emergency management organization, hoping the community could be part of the solution to controlling wildfires. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A northern Manitoba chief says hundreds of homes are damaged, uninhabitable, or in need of major repair 2 months after a power outage. In December, hundreds of people from Pimicikamat Cree Nation were forced out of the community after frozen pipes burst, causing major damage. The chief says more than 230 homes are currently unlivable and need extensive repairs, and emergency repairs and mold remediation is being done on roughly 900 others. Students at a Winnipeg high school are getting lessons on where the province's power is generated. It comes at a time when Manitoba Hydro is under increasing pressure from Northern First Nations over environmental impacts. CBC's Josh Crabb reports.
So that the dams that they built there would have more water.
Grade 9 students at University of Winnipeg Collegiate get a lesson on what powers the province. It's been an eye-opening unit on hydroelectricity for Sateyesh Hashi.
I learned the truth behind the clean energy and how the communities from northern Winnipeg, the Indigenous communities, are being affected.
The impacts of hydropower has been just one component of this social studies course for the past several years. Derek Ides teaches students about the economic and climate benefits, but also how the lives of people in Northern First Nations have been impacted.
If we have no understanding about what's going on up there and what the impact of that light switch is and that connection is, I feel like we're missing a chance of civic awareness.
This lesson focused on research commissioned by Tatasqueyak Cree Nation, which found declining populations of lake sturgeon on the lower Churchill River. Sage Lord says learning about the utility's impacts through the words of a First Nation leader's poetry resonated.
they were expressing a sort of grief over the river, and I thought it was like a really interesting perspective.
The unit was developed by the Interfaith Council on Hydropower. That's an advocacy group for hydro-impacted communities. IDES is a member of that group and came up with the curriculum. Manitoba Hydro was not aware of the course and wasn't involved in the curriculum. The Crown Corporation hopes it offers a balanced perspective on both the impacts and benefits of hydroelectric dam development. IDES says that's his goal. The students do a mock vote where they pretend to be members of a community where a dam is proposed, which he uses as his gauge.
This year, students voted no. They thought the risks outweighed the benefits, but for the last 2 years, students voted yes.
IDES says about 20 other schools in the province are teaching components of the curriculum. Hydro does offer some of its own documents teachers can use as energy education tools. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Riley is back in now, and I know you were just the messenger, but my goodness, did it get cold again?
You know, just to give you one of the numbers here, 8 o'clock this morning, Winnipeg was at +2. At 9 o'clock, it was -5 downtown already. So that's how much it dropped in just 1 hour.
And it felt much worse.
Yeah, it felt so much worse with that wind, Brittany, as that cold front swept through and the winds really kicked up, and things have been free falling since. So let's take a look at, I'm going to start with the freeze times here before we talk about the wind chill, because the numbers that you see here are the context. And the wind chill is one thing, but it is about what that actually means. So when we have wind chill values in southern Manitoba, we're looking in that -40 to -45 range as we head through the weekend. That's frostbite on exposed skin in 10 minutes or less. But in northern Manitoba, we're looking at those values close to -55 even in some cases, and that would be frostbite on exposed skin in just minutes. So we are looking at a bitter cold weekend, back to the deep freeze for a couple of days here, and then we'll swing back toward the warm side of this as we get into next week. So looking at some of the wind chill numbers as we get into the early morning on Saturday, close to -45 in parts of northern Manitoba, closer to -50 inland lake. Again, that's that frostbite on exposed skin in minutes, and close to the -40 mark first thing in the morning across southern Manitoba. So really bundle up if you have to be out first thing in the morning tomorrow. Really all day tomorrow, we are looking at temperatures remaining below seasonal for this time of the year. That's all in the wake of this area of low pressure that's now off over northern Manitoba. You can see the counterclockwise spin on that as it got through the day. So a classic Alberta clipper, a very quick mover. And we get high pressure pushing in after this, which will really bring in some much, much colder air for the weekend. But the trade-off being some sunnier skies as we get through the day on Saturday. There's a little bit of weather as we get into early next week to talk about this. Another quick clipper that'll push across northern Manitoba. And this warm front that pushes through into Monday morning could do a couple of things. So overnight into Monday could trigger a couple of flurries really across central and parts of southern Manitoba. But it will also warm things up as we get into the day on Monday as well. So a bit of a reprieve coming as we get into Monday, but in between now and then we are looking at things staying very cold as we get through the weekend here. So the winds have been dying off. The worst of the wind has ended. We're looking at things lightening up across the south as we get through the night tonight, and then we're looking at things more like 10 gusting 20 by the time we get into the afternoon. Could be a bit breezy once again Sunday with that next system advancing in from Saskatchewan as we get Sunday into Monday, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So by the afternoon tomorrow, around -20 in southern Manitoba, looking at things closer to -25 along the Hudson Bay coast as we get through the day. And then as we get into the long-range forecast, maybe a bit breezy into Sunday, Brittany, -13 degrees with some scattered flurries into Monday morning, and then that break comes as we get into early next week.
We are waiting.
Yes.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
We have much more news straight ahead after the break. Stay with us. The City of Brandon has approved a vandal-proof public bathroom downtown. Right now, the only public bathroom in town is unreliable. But as CBC's Michelle McDougall shows you, the cheeky project has people sitting on both sides of the issue.
About bloody time. About bloody time.
About time, says Mark Mescalin, that a new 24/7 public bathroom gets built in Brandon's downtown core. Some social agencies have public bathrooms, including Samaritan House Ministries, Ask Auntie, and 7th Street Health Access Center. But those are closed overnight, something Mescalin experienced when he was unhoused.
But on statutory holidays, nothing. And, you know, I feel sorry for the girls.
The only public bathroom downtown is in Princess Park. It has 2 stalls, but when CBC checked 3 days in a row, both doors were locked. Manitoba Harm Reduction Network's Solange Machado says having access to a bathroom is a basic human right.
A washroom would just benefit anybody visiting downtown as well. It would not just the houseless community, but anybody visiting our downtown community would benefit.
Brandon City Council approved demolishing the existing Transit Information Center in the heart of downtown with a new vandal-proof bathroom built in its place. The bathroom itself is estimated to cost more than $300,000, accounted for in last year's city budget. The bathroom has critics who say the new facility may be used by drug users. Despite those concerns, area councillor Chris Desjardins wants the bathroom built.
We want them to find safer spaces to manage what they're going through, but we can't be worried about those things. That can't prohibit us from doing the right thing.
One of the 10 city councillors who wants construction delayed is Greg Hildebrand. He says he wants to make sure ratepayers get what they pay for.
To me, a $350,000 washroom is something that can be, you can build a house for that price.
Brandon City Council hopes to have the building demolished before the end of the year, but when the new bathroom is built is still unclear. Michelle McDougall, CBC News, Brandon.
About 100 entrepreneurs gathered in Ile-des-Chênes to discuss how they could keep business booming in southeast Manitoba. The RM of Richshot hosted the Elevate MB Business Expo Thursday. It was packed with hundreds of people in southeast Manitoba who say fast population growth is directly tied to job opportunities.
People are looking for, or businesses are looking for, is there opportunity for my employees to stay around home?
It's the rural life that people are starting to look at. And that's why the Southeast and all these surrounding communities are doing so well right now, is just the affordability and a better life for people and their families.
Minhas Brewery founder and Dragon's Den entrepreneur Manjeet Minhas was the keynote speaker. Some of the entrepreneurs in attendance say they connected with her success story of overcoming obstacles and taking big risks. Former MP Dan Vandel says he's honored to have a Winnipeg pool named after him. City Council voted 12-3 yesterday to add Vandel's name to Bonnie Vital Pool. He represented St. Boniface on Winnipeg City Council from 1995 to 2004 and again from 2006 to 2014. He then served 3 years as MP for St. Boniface St. Vital before retiring. Vandel also competed as a professional boxer and earned a social work degree before going into politics.
So I've been there many times both with my children and as a counselor, and I expect my grandchildren will be there as well when they're of age to take swimming lessons. So it's a great honor, and I appreciate the sentiment from council.
The pool reopened to the public in November after 2 years and almost $10 million worth of major renovations. The Alberta government's latest budget projects a more than $9 billion deficit. It's the second consecutive deficit for the oil-rich province. Manitoba is expecting a $1.6 billion deficit for the current fiscal year. And as CBC's Aaron Collins reports, going into the red is becoming a trend in other provinces too.
The Honourable President of Treasury Board and Minister of Finance.
No sugarcoating this bad news budget.
Let's cut to the chase. If this budget is passed, Alberta will face a deficit of $9.4 billion this fiscal year.
Lots of red ink, but no major cuts, no big tax hikes, and bumps in health and education spending. Those choices, this budget breaking Alberta's own rules against running deficits.
We created these rules and I'm breaking them. So it bothers nobody more than it does me.
As always, the price of oil, the primary driver of Alberta's bottom line. U.S. tariff and trade policies causing energy prices to slump.
We've seen a $9 billion decrease in resource revenue, from last year.
The opposition critical of the government's response.
This is a placeholder budget with a strategy that is only cross your fingers and hope the price of oil goes up.
This political watcher says running a deficit may not be a huge political risk.
Albertans aren't particularly fiscally conservative. They don't like cuts to social programs. They don't like increased taxes.
BC and Nova Scotia also announced deficits in recent days. Saskatchewan's premier signaling one is coming there too.
There are revenue challenges due to the trade uncertainty, market uncertainty around the world.
Provinces in the red, a theme this fiscal season.
We're likely to see wider deficits and more persistent deficits over the near to medium term.
So bad news budgets a trend across Canada. Here in Alberta, the plan appears to be to just hang on and wait for the price of oil to rebound, continuing to ride the roller coaster of volatile energy prices. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
New data is shining a light on the potential misuse of antipsychotic medications in long-term care facilities. 1 in 4 residents have received that medication despite not being diagnosed with psychosis. That's according to an organization that tracks Canadian healthcare data. Tashana Reid looks at the problem and at what can be done to address it.
This is my dad.
Eddie Callisto Tavares noticed a difference in her dad right away.
He was very lethargic.
In 2019, her father Manuel moved into a long-term care facility where he was prescribed antipsychotic drugs to deal with symptoms related to his Alzheimer's.
He had falls because he would get up like his normal self, but then he would get dizzy.
New data from the Canadian Institute for Health Information says on average 1 in 4 long-term care residents in Canada received an antipsychotic medication without a psychological diagnosis. And the potential inappropriate use of these medications in Canada is higher compared to rates in the US and Australia.
We're measuring because we want to track these numbers. Right now, they're not moving in the right direction.
In the last decade, rates of potentially inappropriate use of antipsychotics were trending downwards until the COVID pandemic. The latest data shows that in most provinces, rates remain high. Last year, a national group of health organizations set a reduction target of 15% or less.
It just shows that this is a persistent problem.
Antipsychotic medications are sometimes used to address symptoms like aggression or agitation in patients with dementia, but they are not without risks of more falls, fractures, stroke, and even death.
You should review them every 3 months to say, do we still need this medication? And if we do, what's the right dose? And if we don't need it, let's get them off that medication as soon as possible.
Advocates say there are alternatives.
Maybe an exercise program, maybe painting, maybe going outside for a walk, maybe just a change of the environment could really help.
Eddie's father was taken off the medication after she advocated for him. He passed away in 2020, but she continues to fight for patients in long-term care. Tashana Reid, CBC News, Toronto.
Doctors recommend sunscreens to protect against the harmful effects of the sun. But a CBC Marketplace investigation has found some SPF label ratings don't match what's actually in the bottle. The team sent samples to several labs for testing. Christine Birak tells us the surprising results and why experts say Health Canada should take action.
Ultraviolet radiation hits our skin year-round. Most of those dark spots are sun damage. Studies show sunscreen is safe, but Marketplace testing found SPF numbers can be unreliable.
You'll never get the protection on the bottle.
Experts say lab testing is standardized, but results vary widely.
The SPF is really a crude indication of how well a product protects you.
We sent an SPF 50 sunscreen to 5 testing labs and got back 5 different SPF numbers, ranging from 60 all the way down to 15.
I mean, you'd hope for some consistency. I mean, that's ridiculous.
To measure SPF, labs still use human test subjects, expose them to UV light with and without sunscreen.
You're causing a burn, which is an inflammatory response, and that's a very variable thing.
Just going to touch your back for a second.
Scientists then examine the burn to calculate SPF, but given how many variables there are,
do you think that such a specific SPF number on the label makes sense?
You have a point, absolutely.
Labs also use a precise amount of sunscreen. We did the math. It's a lot.
It took me 3 goes at it.
Companies are only required to test a product once at one lab on 10 people. They're not required to submit those results to Health Canada unless asked. In 2022, the owner of AMA, an American test lab, went to prison. The company had been fabricating SPF data for 30 years, yet no products were recalled in Canada.
Whether that be the manufacturer, well, Health Canada and such, I expect what they put on that label is pretty darn close to what's in that bottle because it is our health.
She argues if SPF really is a range, the label should say so. Some protection is always better than none, but Canadians deserve to know what they're actually buying. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
For the full investigation, watch Sunscreen Secrets at 8 p.m. on CBC TV, YouTube, and CBC Gem. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton testified before the U.S. House Committee about his ties to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. What he had to say? More on that after the break. Bill Clinton has testified before the U.S. House Committee investigating late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He told the members about his interactions with Epstein, but says he didn't know about the crimes the financier committed until later. Kate McKenna has more on the former U.S. president's testimony and the Democrats' push to get the current president to testify.
Bill Clinton says if he had known about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, he would have turned him in himself. The former president spent the day being grilled in a closed-door deposition by Republicans and Democrats, but he posted his opening statement online, saying he was doing this because he loved his country, and also saying America was built upon the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents. The second reason I'm here is because the girls and women whose lives Jeffrey Epstein destroyed deserve not only justice, but healing. My brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light. I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong. During the day, Republicans and Democrats both came out to give updates, saying the president took tough questions from both parties. Democrats say Clinton's testimony creates a precedent for presidents responding to congressional subpoenas, saying Trump must also be deposed.
Donald Trump, as we know, needs to come before this committee. He's been caught in multiple lies as it relates to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
But Republicans are keen to emphasize the ties between Clinton and Epstein. They crossed paths many times over the years, and the former president's name came up in the files along with pictures of both of them.
There are a lot of photos that have been released by the Department of Justice as well as the Epstein estate. There are a lot of email correspondence that included President Clinton. We know President Clinton had, and Secretary Clinton confirmed this yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. We know that Bill Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 27 times. So those are questions that we're going to ask.
Clinton has always maintained he had nothing to do with Epstein after 2006, and simply being in the files doesn't equate to wrongdoing. Democrats and Republicans have both said they expect transcripts of Clinton's deposition to be released. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Washington.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is in India. This trip is the first leg of his latest Canadian trade mission. And India has told Carney the country is willing to buy whatever Canada is offering. The CBC's Catherine Cullen is in Mumbai with more.
The Prime Minister has come to India looking to rewrite the relationship with a big emphasis on investment and trade. Saskatchewan's Premier has traveled with him, hopeful Canada is making up for lost time with India.
And I would say from a trade perspective that we've fallen behind a number of other countries around the world.
This is a big reset.
India is keen too. The High Commissioner says his country wants a lot of what Canada is selling, particularly energy, from nuclear to oil and gas.
Energy, there is appetite to which even Canada cannot fulfill. And we're willing to buy whatever Canada is offering on crude, on LPG, on LNG.
A far cry from recent years, from Justin Trudeau's awkward visit to 2023 allegations Indian agents were involved in the murder of a Sikh activist in BC. But Carney has made it clear he wants to defrost the relationship and jumpstart trade talks.
India is the most populous country in the world. It is the fourth largest economy. It is the fastest growing economy, and it's an important geopolitical actor. For us to be able to diversify non-U.S. exports, India has to be a critical part of that puzzle.
Saskatchewan's Premier says he's hopeful a new pipeline to Canada's west coast could be part of the answer.
I would suggest that we as Canadians have a responsibility to provide and displace some of the dirtier forms of energy, some of the more unethical forms of energy.
But questions hang over the two countries' security relationship after one federal official told journalists the violence and repression fueled by the Indian government has stopped. Activists from Canada's Sikh community insist the intimidation continues.
I said it was the 800-pound gorilla. It's the issue that could derail this reset.
Government officials insist there is an ongoing conversation about security right alongside the talk of trade. Carney is beginning his trip here in the country's business capital. On Monday in New Delhi, he'll meet with India's Prime Minister. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Mumbai.
Riley, we already talked a bit about that blowing snow today. In the city, it was really bad, but even outside the city, even worse. We saw the perimeter closed, and those highways, boy, oh boy, were they treacherous.
You know, it's always a good reminder to make sure you have your emergency kits in your vehicle, right? The extra clothing, the blankets, food, water.
Keeping gas topped up.
Yep, shovel's not a bad idea either if you're heading out on the highways. So a good reminder, especially on days like today. Let's take a look at your dog walking forecast, because I don't think it was pleasant for the pups today either. Yeah, you know what? Usually we do Feline Friday on Friday, but I was so busy and I didn't actually realize till late this afternoon that I'm actually out of cats for Feline Friday. I am very surprised by that, so please send them my way to talkback@cbc.ca. But you know what? We had the chance to see Solomon tonight from northwestern Ontario, enjoying a run out on the frozen lake there. Thank you, Lynn, for sending this picture in. Even if we can't see some cats, you know what? We'll enjoy some pups today. So a cold one coming as we get into the day on Saturday. Winds will die down, particularly into the afternoon hours, so maybe a bit breezy still in the morning. But temperatures minus 18 by the afternoon. We are looking at a very chilly weekend ahead, really across the province. Temperatures at the moment, a very far cry from where these were first thing this morning, at or above the freezing mark for much of southeastern Manitoba, the Red River Valley, even into parts of southwest Manitoba. Minus 16 in the city right now. Dauphin at minus 17, and already into the minus 30s along the Hudson Bay coast, as well as in Gillam. That's where we're looking at those wind chills remaining strong as we get through the night tonight and really throughout the weekend. So looking at winds at the moment, I mean, we did see gusts 70, 80 as expected through the Interlake into southeastern Manitoba and the Red River Valley. Those have now started to back off. Still seeing some gusts to 40 as we head into the evening here. So still a breezy evening and overnight hours ahead. Temperatures dipping into the minus 30s for much of southern Manitoba through the Parkland. Peguis minus 32, Swan River minus 32 overnight, and even close to minus 40 for temperatures overnight in northern Manitoba. Thompson minus 37, as is Norway House through the overnight hours. Then we're looking at things not even getting out of minus 20 as we get through Saturday, but lots of sunshine as we head through the day tomorrow. Wind chills, though, will be a factor as we get through the afternoon, really province-wide. A bit of cloud cover starts to push into parts of southern Manitoba through the day. Doesn't really impact us all that much, but certainly you will feel that bite in the wind, even with not a lot of wind through the day tomorrow. Things do start to warm up in the long range, really across much of the south as we get into the weekend, and to Sunday, minus 9 up to plus 3 into Monday. And in northern Manitoba, staying in the minus double digits for Thompson, minus 14 into Sunday, minus 17 for Tuesday, and bordering minus 30 into the Hudson Bay coast, Brittany, into the weekend as well.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
An incident seen by many as a show of disrespect for the American women's gold medal winning hockey team continues to cause a stir. Donald Trump called the men's team after it won gold at the Olympics, and the players laughed at his crack against the women's squad. Tanya Fletcher reports on the response from players on both teams.
Days after both the U.S. men's and women's hockey teams won Olympic gold, what happened next continues to steal the spotlight.
We're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that.
U.S. President Donald Trump joked at the women's expense as the men laughed along.
I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. Now I have to sort of sit, and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility.
The men are also facing questions about their response to that locker room call.
Why would you laugh when they got invited?
I mean, I don't really have an answer. Honestly, it was just a whirlwind of a moment.
Certainly sorry for how we responded to it in that moment. You know, things that just happened really quick there.
You know, it's unfortunate that, you know, that kind of occurred. You know, we have nothing but love and respect for the women's team.
This is definitely a dark cloud, and it's unfortunate.
Jody Vance was the first woman in Canada to host a TV sports show in primetime. She's hopeful all of this will ultimately build momentum for women's sport.
I like it being in the conversation that things have to change. We thought they'd changed more than they have, and I think that's where the disappointment lies.
As the Olympians head back to home ice, that disappointment is felt by some local fans too.
We have little girls that see that, and we have little boys that see that, and they're taught to just go along with it.
As the women they look up to carve a path forward, they have a message for young hockey hopefuls.
We need to stay positive. We need to stay strong together. We need to focus on the right things.
Their voices being amplified now more than ever. A silver lining to a gold controversy. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
Premier Wab Kinew also weighed in on the locker room call, saying as a hockey parent, he wants his kids to learn respect.
I think on that count, I think the Team USA men's team failed us, right? Like that is not the kind of behavior we want young boys, young girls, young kids who are playing hockey to have when they grow up. We want, presumably, young people who are playing hockey to actually be like, you know what, Mr. President, that's not right.
Still ahead, race to the finish. The winner of a 3,400-kilometer snowmobile ahead in our daily lift. Lots of cheering at the send-off for members of Canada's Paralympic team. The athletes had a parade through Toronto's Pearson Airport. The Paralympic Winter Games open next week on March 6th, and it will be the 50th time the world's Paralympians gather to compete.
Okay, I showed you this earlier in the week. I thought I'd remind you about it again because this is coming up tomorrow evening, this planetary parade. I mean, last year was a bit more exciting because we had Mars in the mix, but this time 6 planets all on the western horizon. This is best viewed 30 to 60 minutes post-sunset. 4 visible to the naked eye, but you will need a telescope or binoculars to see the last 2. So that's happening tomorrow. Clear skies, thanks to high pressure, should be good viewing for that. Minus 13 into Sunday. We start to warm up as we get into early next week. So minus 2 for Monday, maybe a bit windy. Tuesday minus 5, and then there is the chance that we get a bit more snow as we get into next Thursday at minus 6. The winners of the longest snowmobile race in the world have done it for a second time, Brittany.
It was a grueling 3,400-kilometer journey across Labrador. The race to the finish line is our daily lift.
They did it again. They did it again. They did it again. Team 99.
And there they are, Team 99 with Randy Malik and his son Sebastian, the first to cover the nearly 3,400-kilometer journey. CBC News spoke with Randy about his feelings on winning the race for the second time.
I feel so awesome today, defending my champ. Get it.
Not once, but twice in a row coming in. And how did you feel, Randy, knowing your family or friends are here?
I feel amazing with coming in, finish line with my son. What an amazing feeling.
Now, the race began on Sunday with 18 teams. 6 of those teams dropped out on the first day. There were only 8 teams left to start the day, with the reigning champ holding on to his title to win this year's Canes Quest.
Made even sweeter by the fact that he did it with his son, a family affair.
Exactly, and 2 years in a row.
Right? Look how bundled up they were, though.
Exactly.
My goodness, the temperatures there.
You gotta be very hardy for that.
Well, hopefully you all bundle up this weekend, or better yet, stay indoors, maybe watch a movie. We'll see you back here Monday.
See ya.